All right. Oh, I hate this music. I'm gonna see. It's like the weird like AI music from um Restream. I know, right? Look, like, oh my god, it's Steph. All right, let me fix my brightness a little bit. All right, so I'm still using my night visions deck for our readings and the Citadel Oracle for the community read. I don't know. I was like really waffling, guys. I didn't know what I wanted to use. It's like the last hurrah of the season, right? Because next Friday is going to be January. And I figured why not just start off or end off with what we have been working with after my like 2 or 3 week break. Hey, Ari. So yeah, I'm going to get started with the community read from the Citadel Oracle deck. Let's see what our first card is as a community, what energy is around us. So as I'm shuffling, just meditate a little bit and think about what is going on. I have to change this music. All right, we have the twins. So this is the card of self-protection and dual natures. Ooh, here we go. Let's see, so you guys can see that up close. It gives very much a yin-yang vibe, and I'm sorry for the brightness. I'll try to move that into an area you guys can see. It feels very much like I gotta change this music. Give me 1 sec. Okay. So we have the twins here. This gives very much duality and balance, and like things coming in pairs, and think of it as like two sides of the same coin, so to speak. So we're in the midst of the darker side of the year. We have just passed the winter solstice, and I feel like when we are in this part of the year, it really, really, really caters to that self-reflection. So there's this element of like stillness and like I mentioned before, balance that we really need to consider. So in doing so, I think this card specifically is calling out like, where do you feel like in your life you need to find that balance and you need to protect that balance? So let me pull some more cards. We can, you can think about that as I shuffle the deck and pull more cards and see how that reflects upon you specifically. See what our next card is. Next card. Okay, next card. Here we go. Ooh, the Forgotten. So the Forgotten card, I don't think I've ever pulled this for you guys. This is missed opportunities and fear of failure. I think it leans more so just intuitively based off of the first card, leaning more so on the fear of failure side because you're protecting yourself, right? You have built up these walls because you would rather build up walls and keep within your like little square boundaries than risk at all failing in anything that you set your mind to. And that is never going to help you progress into the next steps, right? So that means you just keep doing the same old thing because you're afraid that if you branch out, things just will not work out. The reality of it is it's probably not working out in the way things are now. Otherwise, you wouldn't need this like self-protection. You wouldn't need to find this balance and this duality within yourself, right? Let's see what this second card is. or third card rather, or last card. Last card for the community. Look at how hard this deck is to shuffle. Let's go with this one. Okay. This is the Smith. Overthinking, but taking action. So a lot of times we fall into the fear of, like, we fall into this stagnancy because we are fearful of what change may bring us. But the reality is, like, we need to forge our own path going forward, and we need to start pushing forward. We need to literally forge forward. So with the Smith card, this means that you have been overthinking your next steps, overthinking what the future should look like, but in reality, it's probably really simple. So if you take a step back, give yourself a little bit of a break. Let your mind find that balance that we talked about in that first card, and things might start to make a little bit more sense. This is a perfect time of year to do this. I feel like this is a natural, like, community read for this time of year. It doesn't seem so out of place, honestly, in my opinion, because what do we usually do for the New Year's? We set resolutions based off of what we hope to change from the year behind, what we hope to gain in the year ahead. So the only thing that I think that we should pull from this card is don't overthink those goals. Don't overthink the things that you need to remove from your life from the year behind. Don't overthink the things that you need to change. It's probably much more simple than you're giving yourself credit for. So just give yourself time to, like, breathe, and I think it'll start to make sense. So we have, again, the twins, duality, and balance. We have the forgotten. This is the fear of failure. And then we have the Smith, and this is overthinking, but taking action anyway. Hi, new subscriber. All right, we have a few people in the queue. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to set this off to the side and move this over. So if you'd like a more detailed reading to maybe include oracle cards, it depends on the question, you can use my tip link here. Welcome, Luna Ray, to the Lunar family. How'd you forget you went through 2 hurricanes? That's crazy. Right, Luke? I was like, where the hell is Steph? I thought she was like, I thought they were like enjoying their little tarot group that they joined and brushed us off to the side. Okay, 4. Hi, I don't think I greeted you today. So, hi, 4. Feel free to put your question in chat. I'm going to get this shuffled up. So thank you, Steph. Like the video, but like it anyway, even if you don't enjoy my vibes, because I'll take it. Oh my gosh. So guys, Apollo is my cat. He is in the background, like, going buck wild. He does not like that anyone or anything is getting attention other than him. All right, let's see. Message from Spirit. This deck is shuffleful. I love it. This, again, is the Night Visions Tarot, if you're curious. I know, Luke, right? Luna has been enjoying her spot on the back of the couch, and Apollo has been following me everywhere. All right. Oh, no. It's okay. We're all a mess this season. Steph. All right, 4. Let's see what your message from Spirit is. All right, next card. All right, final card, final card. Last card. There we go. So you have the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Star card, and you have the Six of Swords. So I'll start from the beginning and just kind of work my way down. The Wheel of Fortune, I feel like, is indicative from your spirit team that you are in the midst of like a really impactful cycle right now. There's probably a good healthy balance of ups and downs, but maybe consciously you're only noticing the downs. Because we have the Star card here. Oh, come on, screen. We have the Star card here. But the Wheel of Fortune is all about cycles. It's just like the natural cycle. So in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune really indicates to us that we have sort of fallen out of that cycle at maybe not the best time. But in upright, it just means that we were kind of moving forward, probably actually in the best place that we can be. This is generally a little more positive in the sense that you have probably a little fortune coming your way and your spirit team is wanting to let you know about it. And then also just that you are on the right path for yourself. You're just on like the natural cycle of where you really should be in this point of time, right? And then we go on to the Star card, and this really the Star card I always like to call like the wish upon a star card. So this is where you have your hopes and all of your like desires and your dreams. And this to me related to the Wheel of Fortune is saying like, you know, you're on the right path to get to that start point where you feel like you have achieved the things that you have been hoping for. And I feel with the Six of Swords here, it might not be obvious to you right now. So it's more so a reminder from your spirit team to stay the course. Don't do anything crazy right now. Do whatever you have been doing, and just trust the process. I think trust the process is probably how I'd summarize this whole reading, right? So we have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords really tells me that, you know, after you go through this, you start to really consciously identify the things that have been holding you down. And you start to make these little changes, so you can pull these small burdensome things off of your shoulders and leave them behind as you continue to move forward. This is very much more so internal. This feels very much more of an internal journey than a physical. So this could manifest in just, for example, as a change of mindset in how things have been going, or it could be the path to realization of what is right for you. And trying to think of other examples, but I can't think of them. But regardless, I think that overall, if I were to just summarize all of this for you, I think your spirit team, or just spirit in general, is saying like, stay the course. Be careful how you go about things, but at the same time, you need to be consciously aware of what is working and what isn't, and when to put things behind you. Because this is like, when I do 3-card readings, sometimes it feels very much like this is the gatekeeper for everything to come after. So this is like saying you need to consciously figure out what it is you need to let go of, release, no longer carry with you, whatever resonates with you in that regard, in order to make the next step, right? But I think for overall, I think you're doing well. It may not feel like it necessarily to you, but if you take a step back and allow yourself a little bit of a breather to reflect on what you've been doing and where you have come from, you might start to see it for yourself. We're still in Mercury retrograde? Yikes. Okay, Ari, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Okay, so I got this new keyboard, guys. So I've been on Keyboard Talk somehow. I don't know how I ended up there, but I was #influenced. And I got this awesome keyboard. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna move this so you guys can hear. Ooh, there we go. Hopefully you guys can hear this. I'm super nerdy about like tech, guys. Just ignore me. So when you say your first visit, are you're just talking about like you're going there and coming back? You're not talking about to move there, right? I just want to make sure, just because I'm getting conflicting things from your question. Okay. So I'm going to preface that California is huge. California is, if you really equate it to other states, it's like maybe 3 states in one. It solidly depends on where you are visiting in California. If you have an idea of where you're going, that would really help in that sense. If not, okay, awesome. I'm gonna go with that. No worries. All right, so let's see how your visit, and specifically, you're going to be visiting LA, right? Let's see how that visit can go. All right, Ari, let's see how your visit to LA will go. All right, last card. So you have the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Chalices, which is the Queen of Cups in this deck, and the World card. I think you'll have a good time in LA. I'll start in the middle and work my way out. So with the Queen of Cups, I really feel like that is, I'm going to take this a little more literally than the Queen of Cups is, right? LA is weirdly a beach town, but city vibes as well. And the Queen of Cups is really like sitting on the shores generally and enjoying the water and stuff like that. So this feels very much like you'll feel fairly like right at home in LA. But also like the tarot side of the Queen of Cups, she is very much confident in how she is navigating the world emotionally, and that really feels to me like that means once you visit LA, you will feel very much at home. It'll feel very natural for you. The vibes will be right, the people will be right. And I feel like emotionally it'll be very just you, right? So on the other side here, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Knights are all about actions. They move towards their goals, their ambitions. So this indicates to me that you're probably going to start to see yourself there. You could see how you would fit in there, how you can meet your goals there. But the thing about the Knight of Pentacles is they don't rush towards it. So maybe it starts to spark some ideas for you. You start to feel like a little bit of a connection there. But it triggers more so you figuring out how you can make it work for yourself. In terms of finding a job, finding a place to live, making it actually viable in those aspects, and finding the actual stability for yourself in that location. Because sometimes we might love a place, but it just does not love us when it comes to financial stability and any kind of stability, honestly, right? So I think that this is going to trigger you to start to research a little bit more into that in greater detail and figure out how you can make that work for yourself and your needs and everything going forward. The World card to me is indicative of, like, you could definitely just see yourself there. The World card is the end of the major arcana. This is where everything starts to feel very much accomplished. I think California, or LA specifically in California, could be really good for you in that sense, where you feel very much like, I know you have come to me for a while now in the sense of like, where should I go and, what should I do? I think that when you go to California, you might start to feel like you no longer have to ask those questions, where you feel like, okay, I can see this being the end goal. I can see, and let me just preface that this does not mean that this is going to happen tomorrow or anything like this. This could be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever. Depends on your ambitions and your aptitude to get there, right? So I just want to preface that. But the World card really tells me, like, you could really see how it just sucks you in. Like, look at this card. This is very much like a whirlpool or a black hole that just sucks you into its domain. And I think that's a good thing. I think that it will start to finally feel like things are making sense in that regard. I think with the World card, it's a sign that you have achieved what it is you're looking for. Hey, Baby G, welcome to the queue. All right, Roots and Waves, go ahead. Put your question in the chat. LA is really nice, though. I've been a few times. It's sort of like the Miami of the West Coast without any Spanish-speaking people, I guess. Ooh, let's see. So we're going to do this one a little differently, Roots and Wave, okay? I think this will be interesting in the sense, like, I like to do look aheads. So we'll do a month of card and see how that goes. So let's see what January is going to look like for you. See how February is going to go. And our first repeat of the night. And let's see how March is gonna go. Thank you for joining, Aisha and Luna. Let's see March. So it's almost like a sneak peek of what I do for my year ahead, except with only 3 cards. So it's like a quarter of a sneak peek, I guess. So for January, we have the 5 of Pentacles. For February, we have the Star. And then for March, we have the 2 of Pentacles. So I'd say overall, for the first quarter of 2025, you're going to have to find some balance with your finances and work. Maybe feels very much like a work-life balance kind of thing that is going on here. So I think the first quarter is trying to find that balance between how much energy you're putting towards your work and finances versus how much energy you're putting towards your family, home life kind of thing. In January, we have the 5 of Pentacles. This really is indicative of perhaps overspending. I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way, but just that sometimes over the holidays we kind of get to that point and we don't realize it, and it catches up to us in January. But just realize, like, the 5 of Pentacles is about feeling that strain financially, but understanding that you have the resources to get past it. So don't let January drag you down. Just understand that it might be a little bit of a dip in how things have been going, but you'll get out of it, right? A dip kind of has, like, you have your low point, but you come out of it. And that's really how the Star feels in February, where you feel like you have finally gotten out of it. You feel like you can put a lot of the struggles that you have been dealing with behind you. The Star is the card of hope, and it's like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of like any hard work you have been putting in. I think February is going to be the turning month for you versus January. January is going to be like a continuation of whatever has been going on right now. I mean, we are essentially in January, right? We only have part of another week. So whatever is going on now is going on now. February is where you start to see the change. And then March is when you start to feel it, really. Like, you start to really see how it has affected the things around you. The 2 of Pentacles is about finding balance, starting to feel that balance. And so I mentioned before, it feels somewhat like work-life balance. So things might be a little chaotic as you work your way into February from now, right? February feels like something must happen. There's something important here with the Star card where you feel like you can really get your feet under you, and leads into March in setting a really good, stable foundation for you to move forward. The 2s are about balance. I mentioned before in another reading, 2s are about duality. So there's this thing about like a little bit of give and take, and when you give in one place, you kind of have to take from another in order to find that balance. And if that means it's work versus your home life, then you have to figure that out, right? So I think by the time you hit March, it's going to start to feel like things are leveling out. Things might be a little chaotic right now. It's not abnormal, in my opinion. So don't let it get to you. But honestly, the first 3 months seems fairly, quote unquote, status quo. I wouldn't worry too much about what you're seeing here, as long as you're putting the right actions towards getting to the Star. So I guess just to give you guys a sneak peek, outside of my live readings, when I give private readings things that I like to do is like when I discover these things that are happening, I like to dive into what happens in between. So that's what's missing in this reading. Is like what happens in between this Five of Pentacles and the Star. How do we get to that point? Or like what are some major actions or steps that we need to do? And that's kind of where we would discuss it. So there's a little bit more to it, but I think that honestly, this is enough detail where you can kind of sit and think about it, and I'm sure some ideas are coming to mind. You're welcome, Roots and Waves. And remind me, I know you came to like our live stream, and I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names. So please remind me of your name. Alrighty. Part C, you're up next. Put your question in the chat. Hey, Whimsically. Welcome. Welcome. I think I got everyone. Okay, let me read off who I have in the queue. I have up now, I have Heart C, and then I have Baby G, Luna Ray, Aisha, and Whimsically. If you don't hear your name, then make sure you use !join to join. Steph, you're so funny. Also, guys, happy holidays. I feel like I didn't do a full greeting today. I've been a little discombobulated. I missed 2 or 3 or maybe more weeks, and I feel like just so out of sorts. And yeah. All right, let's go on to Baby G. Go ahead and put your question in the chat. Heart C, if you'd like to rejoin, you are welcome to until I close my queue. Also, I have to say, you guys have disappointed me. Nobody said anything about my new overlay. It's all Christmassy and cute with little look at this little guy. These 2 guys here. And this is like a little cat with like a reindeer horns. All right, Luke, relax. It has been 3 weeks. I don't think I've been here for any of December until now. So, in all fairness, I was traveling. Oh, thank you, Steph, my one true friend. Thank you, Whimsically. All right, let's go on to Luna Ray. Luke, you're so dramatic. You're such a drama llama. I love it. Alrighty, Luna Ray, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Again, Heart 3 and Baby G, if you would like to rejoin, you are welcome to. Oh, okay. So I'll get you both, guys. So Baby G, I did see your comment right as I triggered the Luna Ray thing. So so timing is weird in tarot, right? Timing's subjective. It's very ambiguous. So I'm going to see what I see, Baby G. And we'll go from there. All right, Baby G. Let's see. When will new love come towards you? And then I'll get you right after Luna Ray. Thank you. Last card. This feels very much like a situation, action, outcome spread. Let me scoot this up a bit. You have the Nine of Swords, you have the Ten of Cups, and you have the Chariot. So if we're just talking like very generally in terms of timing, with the Ten of Cups, I would say maybe the end of next year. Cups tends to represent months in tarot, but let's talk about the details that need to happen to get to that point. So with the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Swords is the card of like high anxiety, high stress. There is something just truly weighing on your mind. And in regard to this subject of romance and love and relationships, there's something holding you back. So this question is a little nuanced in the sense that you really need to face whatever this I said Nine of Cups, I think, but I meant Nine of Swords. You need to really face whatever this Nine of Swords is and tackle it. Honestly, you need to tackle it before you can get to this. So we're looking at this as the situation. Right now, you're in a situation where you are, maybe you don't feel like you are, but you're worrying about what your future love life will look like. And what that ends up meaning is it ends up weighing on you, and then ends up putting a lot of pressure on you, and it just becomes this other source of anxiety and stress in your life that is highly unnecessary. So I think you need to face why that is. This is another instance of like a 3-card spread popping up in my live streams where I feel like there's a lot more depth in this one card that I would like usually slide up and dive into. But I think just intuitively, I would say if you get to this point where you feel like you can like tackle whatever it is that I don't want to use such a strong word, but I can't think of another word. If you can get to this point where you can tackle whatever has sabotaged things in the past for you, then you can get to this Ten of Cups point. Ten of Cups, it's like it mirrors the Ten of Pentacles in a way. Ten of Cups is the end goal emotionally, where you feel like you are emotionally fulfilled. A lot of times in questions like that represents a similar thing to the Ten of Pentacles, in that you have the right person, the right family unit. There are things around you that are emotionally fulfilling you, and you feel like you have done all of the right things, checked off all the right boxes, and you were good. That's at the heart of your reading, right? And I understand that's what you're trying to get to, but you have this roadblock here. Then, so we have the situation, right? If we look at this as an action, this is saying that if you, as I described that, right, something must have come to your mind. There's something that you imagined as I described that you want to get to. That means you need to have some actionable things that you need to get to. Again, this is something I'd light up and we say, hey, what are some actions that we can get to that would lead you to the Chariot, right? But the thing is, in this, if we're zooming out and we're just looking at this overall, this feels very achievable. And the Chariot is saying, like, you know, push forward, keep forging forward. The Chariot has this air success that is kind of a green light for you to keep moving towards whatever romantic thing you are looking for. Excuse me. So whatever you envision for yourself, you're allowed to push forward. It's just on the flip side, mirroring in this, you need to let go of certain things. You need to reflect on what is holding you down. You need to reflect on what has kept you in the cycle that has not led to this, right? So that's your roadblock. Steph, I wonder if their stream is laggy. All right, Luna. Let's get your question. No worries, baby G. So, Luna, just so you know, I don't do third-party readings, so I'm not gonna do this reading. But if you have another question, I'll gladly answer it. I'm sorry. I should have mentioned that earlier, but I didn't fully read through before I saw Baby G's question. So let me know if you have a different question that you would like answered. Sorry. I mean, honestly, reality is that's his business. So if Terry is in a relationship, you can either ask or stalk him, I guess. Okay, let's see. I guess to clarify this that I highlighted, the physical reunion. I'm going to look at it in terms of a relationship because I think that's what you're insinuating, right? So, will you guys have a physical reunion that leads to a relationship for you? Because I just want to clarify, because divination is interesting, at least for me, where the way you worded it could mean you guys run into each other at the mall, but it doesn't mean anything. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page with how I'm thinking about it. And good. Okay. Awesome. Yes, please. Let's see. First card. Next card. All right, next card. Ooh, we have two aces here. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. We have the King of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. I definitely feel like you guys will reconnect. I won't necessarily say it's soon, but there's a little nuance there. I'll start and go in order. We have the King of Pentacles. This very much feels like your friend. I'll say friend. Who did you say? Terry, I believe. It very much feels like them. Sorry, I'm just scrolling up to double check. Yeah, Terry. So this very much feels like Terry. And the King of Pentacles, he's the practical king. He likes to set down roots. He's a lot more stable than the other kings. Can be a lot more stubborn than the other kings. But ultimately, there's a good, healthy balance between the logical side of the kings and the stable side of the kings that just creates this like rootedness in them. So I feel like Terry is somewhat that person. So he they are very much understanding of that position, right? Of where you guys are and what things look like and how things could look like in the future. In terms of your question of if they're single or not, I would say I would hope that they are single right now, but this could also just mean like maybe this is something, this is who they are, but this is stuff that's going to happen in the future. Maybe they're not not single, but they're not dating or not in a relationship either. Maybe they're just dating, right? They're in the dating phase where they might be seeing other people, trying to figure out what it is they want. But we have the Ace of Wands. This is very much like, and in the center of your reading, this is very much the spark of like inspiration and passion. And I think this very much means that there is a bit of a reconnection. But I'd be a little leery, right? So we have wands and cups side by side. They don't necessarily play well together, but they don't necessarily always negate each other. So while we have this spark of like passion that happens, I don't know that it's long lasting. I think it's maybe something that fizzles out in a way, but not in a bad way. I think that maybe like you guys learned that you might go through a little like fun times, and then you realize like emotionally you guys care for each other. It's just not the right thing for you guys, right? Ultimately, long term. So this is more near term. This feels very much medium term, I'll say. And I think that's because this person, Terry, he's very practical and realistic in what things look like for him. And okay, and you said, Luna, you are as well. So I think you'll start to see that you will reconnect. To answer your main question, you will reconnect here with this Ace of Wands, but I think that you will understand that maybe things would be better for the both of you if you guys were just cool, you know what I mean? Just friends. You just had like really, it feels platonic relationship, emotional connection, and it feels very mutual. Overall, I will say this feels very positive. It may not feel like that as I'm describing it to you right now. But yeah, I think that overall it's fairly positive. All right, Aisha, go ahead and put your question in the chat. Then I have Whimsically Chanel and Natty Nat. Hey, Natty Nat. So I'm going to go ahead and close the queue. Everybody who's in it is in it. So don't freak out. Guys, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. You're welcome, Luna. Good luck. Hey, Natty. Happy holidays. Scrolling up. All right, Aisha, let me know you're still here. If not, I'm going on to the next person. Baby G, I see your comment. I'm assuming you are good. All right, whimsically, go ahead. You're up next. All right, let's see if your goals are going to come to fruition soon. Soon is subjective. What do you mean by soon? All right, last one. Cards come out very easily for this. So you have the Five of Cups, Knight of Cups, Five of Swords. Interesting balance here. Give me 1 second. I always forget my numerology here. All right. So fives are, there's a lot of movement in fives, but there's like a lot of like changes and conflict as well. So so with these fives, I feel like this is indicative that you should definitely make some changes, right? So I don't think you need to make very huge changes, but I do think you need to make some changes. So on one side, I think you need to make changes on the goals you're emotionally connected to. So this to me tells me like there's some goals that you have like really strong emotions towards. Maybe they're not quite right and you need to have more logical connections to them and what is really right for you, right? The Knight of Cups, I mentioned earlier, knights are ambitious. They push towards what they want, right? The Knight of Cups specifically, he likes to follow his heart. He understands that he needs to push towards the things that make him happy. And I think you need to figure out the balance between that, between the Five of Cups and the Five of Swords. Until that happens, I don't think that you will necessarily find your goals coming true. or you'll find them coming true, but they won't feel right to you because you haven't found that balance within yourself first. So to give a little more clarity on that, I feel like, for example, like we have the Knight of Cups in the center of our reading. He is the one that is deciding where we're pushing towards. Then he's realizing that he follows his heart, maybe to his detriment, but he needs to find a balance between his brain, which he doesn't. Knights tend to not use sometimes. So finding a balance between his brain and the things that make him happy. There has to be an overlap of that, and I think that pushing towards one versus the other is just not serving you. It's just kind of pulling you in two directions, and you need to find a way to merge them, right? So what does that look like? Yeah, I would say honestly, musically, I feel like anytime I give you readings, you're kind of already like on board with what I'm saying. You should trust yourself in that aspect. I'm not saying don't come and get your reading to confirm, but definitely trust yourself in that journey, because I feel like you've kind of always had a good sense of how things are going. And yeah. Aisha, I see you say posted. See your question later. I'll get it. It won't be the first time that YouTube has sent me things out of order. Let's see what your relationship with the Leo looks like. Oh no. All right, next card. We have the Chariot, the Hanged Man, and the Seven of Swords. Are you actively in a relationship with this Leo? The reason I ask is because there's conflicting information here. Feels very much like you're like, go, go, go. But I don't think y'all are on the same page. Oh, okay. That makes sense. You guys met last month. That makes sense. This feels very much like your energy. This go, go, go of the Chariot. But none of this is in sync with that. So your Leo is not on the same page as you. There is no relationship. So let me just clarify. There's no relationship. There's nothing indicative here of anything romantic or even friendship. And that's probably because this out of syncness that's happening in this first part versus the rest of the reading. The Chariot is kind of like in the negative, so this feels more like this. Every once in a while I like to flip cards so you guys can see it. This feels more like winning at all costs, meaning you're going to get whatever you want, regardless of what everybody else or anybody else thinks. But that does not mesh with reality. So the Hanged Man is about being willing to make sacrifices. But the thing is, this also feels reversed, where that's just not going to happen. There's no connection here between these things that is indicative to me that anybody is willing to make sacrifices at this stage. And if what you're saying makes sense, is that you guys met last month, then that makes sense. Who wants to make sacrifices for someone they just met? You guys are out of sync. You guys don't know each other. And like, that does not a relationship make, right? I feel like I'm being a little harsh, and I don't mean to be. But we have at the end of this the Seven of Swords. This card can be the card of like sabotage sometimes. You're like sabotaging how this could happen. And I think that because you're in the early phases of this, you might be able to turn it around where you just kind of go with the flow. The Chariot, especially in reverse, does not like to go with the flow. So you just relax, become friends with this person, like see how things are. No strings attached. This is important. No strings attached. And just see how things are. You might gain a little clarity that you're not seeing in this spread, right? The Hangman in reverse is indicative to me that you guys just aren't the same people in a way that's not good for a relationship. Could be good for a friendship, depends. But you guys just have too dissimilar of like interests or social circles, or really minimal. Only have a mild overlap. So I would say, give it time. Try to be chill. If you go with it where you're just like, okay, this is just another person who exists in my social circle and it is what it is, maybe things would be different. Okay, sorry. Let me read whimsically. Sorry, I ended yours too quickly. Okay, cool. We're on the same page, as always. I feel like we're always on the same page, whimsically. All right, Shan. So, Luke, I saw you tried to join. I closed my queue, but I will gladly finish up with you if you're still in the chat. All right, up next is Shan. Feel free to join. And then finishing up, I have Natty Nat and maybe Luke. Hey, Shan. Put your question in the chat. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Let's see what you can expect, Shan. Yes, thank you guys so much for being patient. Next repeat of the night. Okay. So you have the Seven of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and the Magicians. You have a little bit of a roller coaster, but ultimately I think you will meet someone new. So the Seven of Pentacles to me indicates that you are kind of getting out of something that was not working for you, right? And you really need to work on leaving that behind, whatever that thing was. But I feel like there's going to be someone that helps you with that. We have this King of Pentacles. He is our, I think I mentioned it earlier. He is our practical king, really logical, really down to earth, really provides that stability and groundedness that sometimes we seek when we are getting out of this, right? And I think that's really great energy for you. Ooh, long distance. Interesting. So on the flip side here, right, we have the Magician. I feel like the Magician is indicative of this, right? Where you are manifesting that kind of energy. Yes, I will say that you should probably look out. So Pentacles is earth signs. So what is that? Your Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Suck at astrology. I'm so sorry, guys. But then someone who has some sort of like maybe in their rising moon signs, some water signs. Air signs. Because kings represent that air. So yeah, look for some sun signs that are earth. And then look for some, let's say, moon rising. Yeah. Ooh, I got it right. Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Look for some other signs that are strong in their charts that represent Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Thank you, Steph. But sorry, astrology aside, because I'm so bad at it. I'm gonna get better one day. I keep telling y'all that, but I keep not getting better at it. So someone who represents a lot of that is going to come into your life. I feel like maybe they have already been in your life previously. So that's where the somebody new is a little ambiguous. Because we have the Magician, right? The Magician, I think the Magician is air sign. So it almost like represents like or reinforces that idea of there's like an air sign, there's an air sign like rising or moon sign, right? So anyways, sorry, I'm waffling. I'm trying to like think back on my astrology, which throws me off every single time. But going back to tarot, astrology aside, the magician is the manifester. So, if as I'm describing this person, this King of Pentacles to you, maybe no one is coming to mind. This is your sign to manifest them, right? This isn't to say I'm throwing my own biases into this. This isn't to say to manifest a specific person. I'm saying to manifest characteristics that resemble this, that will help you through this, because they are the antithesis to whatever it is that you are needing to leave behind. This crave for stability, this balance that you need in your life, this groundedness, that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, sorry. I was kind of like thinking through this. Sometimes live streams don't cater to the way that I read because I need to sit and like look at a reading for a little bit to sit through it and connect with it. Yes, Steph has been saying that she's going to manifest. Where's that card? She's going to manifest her YouTube channel for years now. But Shan, I think you do have really cool things coming towards you. There's just a little bit of action that is required on your part. Alrighty, Natty, you are going to finish us off strong. Hopefully you are still here. Thanks for understanding, Shan. Steph, you need to just be a TikToker. You're never losing TikTok in like 20 days. You're welcome, Shan. Damn, Luke is calling everyone out today. All right, Maddie, let's see. Let's see how your workload will go. All right, next card. Sorry, it's not good or bad. It's just I'm getting the same cards over and over. So you have the Temperance card, 7 Swords, and 5 of Chalices, which is cups in this deck. So this is a yes and no answer. I feel like yes, overall, your job is going to get heavier. But I feel like you're going to make a concerted effort to not let it weigh on you. So Temperance is being a major arcana card. It's like the ultimate like balance card where you just are sort of walking that middling path there and you don't let things push you off that path. But I think that is how you were handling things in regard to what you're given. Because we have the 7 of Swords, where it might feel like you need to maybe make some sneaky moves to oh, that makes sense. Okay, so there's no signs of leaving in this reading, but this makes a lot of sense. In the sense where it feels like very much you're clocking out, where you're like, I'm going to do what I need to do, no more, no less. But that is not reflected upon in the office, right? So the Seven of Swords is like, I'm going to do what's best for me in this moment. I'm going to take what I need to do, regardless of the people around me, regardless of what I'm being told, regardless of how much work is being thrown at me, that kind of thing. And the Five of Cups very much feels like I'm clocked out. Emotionally, I'm done. I know I have better things that are available to me. I just gotta find them. So I don't think you have necessarily found that yet. So Five of Cups indicates to me that you're aware that that's a thing. You just haven't located them yet. You're still a little bit wallowing in the job that you currently have, and you don't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel yet. Not to say that there isn't a light at the end of the tunnel. I just don't think it's quite there yet. So this is one of those things where like the reading is very indicative of the question. Where I feel like intuitively, I feel like there are definitely other opportunities for you. But in terms of the question that you're looking at, or you asked in the cards that you're looking at, this is kind of where you're at. I am a girl slinging cards on the internet, so I don't like to tell people to make major life decisions off of you. But I agree, Natty, that it feels very much like leaving is the right choice based off of what I'm seeing. Especially with Seven Swords being in the center of your reading. This is very much the core of your reading, right? So right now, if you remember back in like COVID days, what did they call it? Silent quitting, where you're just literally doing the bare minimum to your job. That's what the Temperance card feels like. The Five of Cups feels very emotionally disconnected, and the Seven of Swords feels very much like I am consciously going to do what is best for me right now, regardless of what's going on. If I were to summarize this. I think, Steph, that we can all agree with that, where we're just like, we'll make 2025 our better year. So, Natty, thank you for being patient. I feel like you know what's up. You definitely know what's up. And yeah, I wish you good luck for sure. I love this keyboard. Okay, guys. So, if you would like to join me outside of YouTube, feel free to find me on Discord. You can join my Discord. I do readings on there rarely, very rarely, but we talk divination, we talk new tarot cards, oracle cards, new releases. You can find other YouTubers there. And thank you so much for the good luck wishes. Happy New Year's, guys. I will be here. Honestly, I think I'm good to go now. December was a little busy, but I think I'm good to go for the time being. So if you would like to see certain things on my channel going forward for 2025, make sure you check out my channel, comment on videos that you really like, and I think I'll make a post soon for New Year's and see what people want to see going forward. And otherwise, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being here as always, and I will see you on Discord. All right, bye.